On today's show, the mayor of one of Oklahoma's fastest growing cities, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. The mayor of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Mayor Craig Thurmond, joins us to share about how the city's government is organized and about how local citizens can get involved in local government. And you might say, why should I care? Well, I think you should care because I don't know of a lot of times in our lives where you and I are going to have an opportunity to sit down with the mayor of a thriving city and to ask him any question you could possibly ask him about how to run a local government that's not just surviving, but a local government that is thriving. All this and more on today's interview with Mayor Craig Thurmond. But first, I'm going to get some more Dayquil.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, 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 and yes. Now on today's show, we are interviewing Mayor Craig Thurmond as we're talking about big wins in Broken Arrow. Mayor Craig, how are you, sir?
Great. How are you doing, Clay?
I am very, very excited to talk to you about some big wins in Broken Arrow this week you've been having. But you brought a friend with you on today's show.
Yes.
Tell us about your friend. Who is this guy?
Mike Scrimshire has Royal Printing in Broken Arrow and just does an amazing job and really the best print shop that we have in the whole community.
Mike, how long have you been printing things in Broken Arrow?
We've been in Broken Arrow since 1981.
1981?
Coming up on 40 years.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And so what is the genesis of this company? How did you start the company?
Company was started by my parents, Bill and Linda Scrimshire. They were started. My dad's been in the printing industry all his life, so it's what he wanted to do, break out of corporate world and come in to do his own thing.
So a lot of people who are listening to this or watching this on Facebook Live live in Broken Arrow. Where are you located and what kind of stuff can you sell us?
Yep, we are 2 blocks north of 81st and Elm.
2 blocks north of 81st and Elm.
The address is actually 400 South Elm.
400.
There used to be a Broken Arrow Beauty College in that strip center.
Okay, and so how long have you been in that building?
Been there 40 years. That's
40
where we
years.
started.
Really? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you have seen Broken Arrow change a lot, I'm sure, as you look out the window of your printing shop. Let's talk about the last 8 years, though, in particular, the last 7 years. How did you first meet Mayor Craig Thurmond?
He was in the Lions Club with my father.
Yes.
I believe if that's correct. And then have just been around him, different community events that we work through. I'm on the board at the chamber, and that's how we've still stayed connected today.
I don't think a lot of people recognize or know what the Lions Club does or doesn't do. Could you maybe share there, Mike? What does the Lions Club do, and what kind of things do you do for the community?
The Lions Club, that's a good question since I'm not a member, but I know they do a lot of eyesight stuff.
Yeah.
And they help different people in our community. They get glasses gathered up.
Got it.
They help the Broken Arrow neighbors.
Yeah.
They do a meet the need at Thanksgiving time.
Cool.
With the different Walmarts around, so they ask people to donate back, but they look to help our community.
And looking at it objectively, the last 8 years, how has Broken Arrow changed? Give us the good, the bad, the up, the down. How is Broken Arrow different than it was 8 years ago?
I'd say Broken Arrow is moving forward. We're not just sitting back. It's the best small town with a big town feel. That's kind of a good way to say it.
Now, as I think about Broken Arrow the last 8 years, my wife and I call Broken Arrow home. We have lived in Tulsa at different portions of our marriage, but we call Broken Arrow home. I think of, we have 5 kids, and I think of now when we're going to go look for something fun to do over the weekend, we might go to the Warren Theater, and that was not an option, 8 years ago.
True.
We might take the kids to Bass Pro Shop and go look around there. That wasn't in Broken Arrow. I feel like that whole shopping development by the Bass Pro Shop wasn't there maybe 8 years ago. Do you feel like that Mayor Craig Thurmond is somewhat responsible for helping lead the charge here, or what do you feel like his involvement, or what have you seen his involvement be over these last 8 years?
Well, I know that the involvement I've seen is he's been instrumental in early, even before that started out there, the Bass Pro District, where you were able to get it put on the schedule probably 15 years ago, 15, 20, and start bringing that idea front for everybody to look at. And then once they were able to get them on board Bass Pro, not just Southtown was prospering, but North has exploded.
What other things have you seen that has grown in Broken Arrow? We've got the Bass Pro Shop. We've got the Warren Theater. What are other developments that you've seen go up in the past 8 years? I mean, I feel like I've seen have I seen the NSU Broken Arrow campus? Has that gone up, or is that more than 8 years ago? There,
It's
Mayor
more
Craig?
than 8 years ago.
What else has gone up in the last 8 years?
I know the event park out here,
Event Park,
which is a great idea, just this side, the other side of the Creek Turnpike by NSU.
yeah.
And the NSU campus is expanding.
Yep.
So I know that has been instrumental as we've been in doing different things.
So, Mayor Craig, what is your role been in these things? Do you as a mayor, do you do anything? Again, I know that my understanding is, as a mayor, this is what I understand so far. And correct me if I'm wrong here. Step one, you work all the time. Step two, you're not allowed to be paid a dime in Broken Arrow. Step two, again, you don't get paid a dime. You work all the time. You don't get paid a dime. And the major benefit, I'm struggling. I mean, walk me through it. I mean, is that the steps? You work all the time and you can't get paid a dime? Is that accurate?
That's accurate, but our community I make a difference in our community, and not, as I said before, not many people have that opportunity to make a difference in the community, and I've been given that opportunity by being on city council and being the mayor. So we've really made a difference in our community. The jobs that we've grown over the past 8 to 10 years in manufacturing and throughout the community, along with the Rose District. Bass Pro was about 15 years ago. I was the vice mayor at the time, and we had a lot of discussions and trying to get Bass Pro here, and it was really a challenge. And they were looking at a lot of communities in our area to come, and we got them to select Broken Arrow. So a lot of the things that we've done in the past few years, I've been involved in. I've been in those meetings, and I've made some decisions that we've helped. Particularly Bass Pro was one that we really had to do.
I met a woman who appears to be your life coach and your wife here, a very, very smart lady. And I don't know. I mean, is this the part of the show where you tell her that you don't get paid for this? I mean, what kind of a benevolent woman would allow her husband to be gone? You're working all the time. Is this like a family effort? Is she pro Broken Arrow too? Or I mean, how did you convince her to let you work for free?
She's very pro Broken Arrow, but I think she liked that I got paid for some things.
Okay.
She's not whether that I don't do everything for free, but the reality is she's very pro Broken Arrow. She supports me in everything that I do. So
what I wanted to focus on today's show is how is the city government organized? And then I'm going to let Charles Kolaw derail us and ask you questions that are somewhere between offensive and over the line and inappropriate, that kind of thing. And then Mike can one-up us with really nice professional questions. Okay, so how is the city of Broken Arrow organized? Because I know if I'm the mayor right now in New York, currently in New York, they make a salary of $258,750 a year if they're the mayor of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not getting paid in Broken Arrow? What kind of organization do we have of the mayor and the local government?
Well, we're a statutory city, and we're a city manager form of government. So the council actually, we're the legislative body like Congress is. So we make all the laws, all the ordinances. We approve the budget. We do zoning changes. So that's what we do as the city council. We're the legislative body. The executive branch is the city manager, and the administration and the management team is the executive branch that runs the city. And then, of course, we do have municipal judges that are our judicial branch.
And what do you call this kind of government?
It's a statutory city manager type of government in the state of Oklahoma.
Statutory.
Right.
Okay.
Because so many cities, there's also charter. Like Tulsa has a charter. A lot of cities have a charter. We don't have a charter. We run by state statute. So most of the cities, there's almost 500 cities that are under 1,000 people in Oklahoma.
Okay.
So you couldn't pay everyone there, so they've created a statutory form of government that people are volunteers, which is great when you're a community of 1,000 people. When you're a community of 115,000, there is a lot more work involved than than in a small community.
When are you putting it on the docket to get paid? When's that happen?
I'm not.
You're not?
Don't plan on putting that on the docket.
Okay.
I think you get a different type of person. That when you get someone that's volunteering their time to make a difference in the community, it's a different person than the person that's doing it for a paycheck.
Mike, have you had to interact with Mayor Thurmond here in local government? Have you had to interact with him as it relates to your business at all?
We've just had him come by our office several times whenever he comes in to visit with us. I would just say when he's needing different things to help with the community, I love the opportunity just to do that.
Do you find it easy to do business in Broken Arrow with Mayor Craig at the helm?
Oh, I love Broken Arrow. I'm born and raised right here.
You like it?
So I love what we've got going on. Especially, I've told people 7-8 years ago you could stand on Main Street, shoot a shotgun down Main Street, you wouldn't hit a thing. Now with the Rose District in place, everything he's done, getting all that ready, it is amazing how you see people roaming up and down Main Street. My dad has said the same thing, so he loves it.
So how did decisions get made in Broken Arrow? Let's just say right now, I have a thing I want to throw out. This is my law that I want to pass, and you tell me. Again, this is hypothetical, but this is an example. When I have decided to build the pool back here, in the deck, we have city inspectors. Are they under your authority?
They're under the city manager.
Under the city manager.
Right.
And who is the city manager?
Michael Spurgeon, city manager.
Okay.
And so they're under assistant city manager that runs operations. Kenny Swab runs operations. So the inspectors that department directly works for him.
So when I started building the pool, somebody dispatched the team to come check on me to make sure that I have a permit, I believe. Does that seem normal?
Yes.
Okay, so they show up. They're nice guys. They show up, though. They got clipboards. They're nice guys. They show up. There's no guns or badges, just clipboards. They show up and they say, "Sir, what are we doing here?" And I said, "Hey, I'm doing a pool." And my pool guy pulled a permit for the pool.
Yes.
Apparently, the deck man did not pull a permit for the deck. So they're like, "Hey, you got to have a permit for the deck." And they'd already started construction or something. And they were nice about it, They were good. They're good guys. But let's say that I wanted to have if I wanted to propose a different way to pull a permit, a new way, an innovative way, and I don't have a way, this is hypothetical, but let's just say I did. How do I go from taking that idea and getting that in front of you and turning it into a new rule, a new law, a new local statute? How does that happen?
Well, normally ordinances come to us through whatever department. So if the building inspection department wants to make a change, they would create that ordinance that made that change and what they want to change, and then it would go through legal, and legal would put it on our agenda. And then we would vote for it as we preview that as a council, and we do a preview ordinance, and we vote for that and vote to put it on the next agenda. And then the next agenda we'll vote for it and decide if we want to do it.
And that would be called an ordinance.
An ordinance, yes.
And anybody who is a concerned citizen, if they had something that was bothering them that they wanted to have changed or a solution they wanted to propose, they would have to, again, what's step one? Where do they need to go?
Well, they would go to that whatever department they want to change. So if it's building and you want to change something in the building department, you would talk to them, and if they agree with that change, if they think that's a good change, they're going to talk to legal about it. Legal's going to write an ordinance and put it on our agenda, and we're going to do a preview of it, and then we're going to vote whether we adopt it or not.
Kind of a serious one I want to propose, and I'm trying to create these awkward moments that I know the citizens love. Okay, so here we go. I am a pro. I'm a no-go on the pot thing. I'm a father of 5. I don't like pot. Don't like pot. Not into pot. Don't wish people would smoke pot. I don't get it. But it's legal in our state. Cool.
Yes.
Let's say that I don't want the dispensaries to be near things that are not dispensaries. I want it to be like in its own district. We'll call it the unemployed high people zone. Okay, the munchie zone, the hipsters that live with their parents in their 40s zone. That guy. So if I want to call it that, and I want to call it that zone, I want to say the knucklehead zone. Can we set up an area of the town called the no-go zone where we put waste, porta potties that are in transit? We put those there, and then we also put the pot, and then we put the hippie concerts all there. If I wanted to do that, my first step is I need to show up where again? Now, what do I need to do?
Well, that is a state statute. So since we're a statutory city, we can have laws that are more restrictive than the state in certain things. But when it comes to a law like that has been passed by the voters, we're just stuck with it. We did try to regulate. We started out with regulations for all those who had to have inspections for dispensaries and certain regulations. They right now have to be can't be within 1,000 feet of a school. So that we tried to regulate them and we got sued. And then the judge that heard that case thought that the lawyer that brought the lawsuit had a better case, and we had a stay on our ordinance. Well, that's gone all the way to state Supreme Court now.
Really?
Yes, and we did win. We prevailed.
Wow.
So now we can enforce our ordinance again.
Amen.
So they've got to have regulations. They've got to get a permit from the city. If the city doesn't give them a permit, if they don't meet the zoning or they don't meet the type of, the zoning comes to us and we have to approve that. If they don't, then they can't get a permit from the state. So every year they have to renew that permit. So every year we have to renew our permits, and if they don't get their permit renewed, they can't operate that facility. But right now the only law is they've got to be can't be within 1,000 feet of a school or a preschool. Daycare we had one that was by a daycare, and it was a challenge there because the daycare wasn't a school. So they're trying to run a law, I think, this year that says it can't be within 1,000 feet of a daycare. They're also trying to make it where it can't be within 1,000 feet of a church. Now, if that happens, it really eliminates a lot of them. But I do feel over time that they will more or less weed themselves out, so to speak.
So if somebody wanted to change the laws as it relates to, let's say, when alcohol can be sold, is that something that affects your office? If I wanted to make it where you could buy alcohol on a Sunday or later on a Saturday, is that something that affects your office?
That's actually Able Commission. That's
Able
another
Commission.
state law.
Okay.
So if they say we've got to, when they recently changed the laws on how liquor's sold, and so we had to mirror our ordinances have to mirror what the state is. So we have to change our ordinance to match the state's.
What kind of stuff are you in control of, and what kind of stuff are you not in control of? And as a mayor, what kind of things can you have influence over, I should say, and what kind of things can you not have influence over?
Well, the city council mainly is in control of ordinances that pass, where we make changes. We agree with that or don't agree with that. Things that are local that we can change. Zoning, every zoning hearing comes before us, and we have to approve whether someone gets a zoning, whether they don't, or the comp plan amendment. Those are a big thing that we do. The budgets. Every year and anything that's outside the budget, any money, we have to approve that so the city can spend that. So if it's not in the budget, we approve the budget. But if something runs over the budget, the city manager can spend up to $25,000. Beyond that, we've got to approve that.
So this week, right now, we're kind of celebrating some wins in Broken Arrow here.
Yes.
And no matter what wins I choose to celebrate, Mike's going to one-up me with better wins because he's more in tune with the community. So I understand there's a hospital coming to town.
Yes.
Is this, what's the big announcement, my friend?
It's called Sound Mind.
Sound Mind.
It's a hospital for geriatric patients that have mental issues. So whether it's a dementia or something else, but it's acute care. It's not a long-term facility. It's acute care. They can stay there for like 1 day to a week.
Wow.
So it's to help stabilize people and move them into whatever they need. So any kind of mental health issue that they have, that someone that's 55 or older has, they can go to that hospital and they can help them.
What was your role in this hospital? Did you have to do anything? Did you not do anything?
Well, we did because it's on city land. They bought land from the city to build this hospital.
Okay.
And the city bought this land when we did the Creek Turnpike, and we found that it was cheaper to buy the land, all this land, instead of buy the right-of-way. Just buy the area for the turnpike, which we had to do for this exit on Aspen. So we bought land, and we have a fire station there. We have a medical office that's going there in front of this hospital, and the hospital is supposed to build a minimum, after 2 years open, a minimum of 10,000 square feet of medical office, and they're saying they're probably going to build something larger. But so it's going to bring a lot of daytime population. They start with 150 employees. But they should grow.
150 employees.
150 employees, yes.
And how does that benefit the average citizen out there when the hospital brings 150 jobs to Broken Arrow?
Well, it's a place they can work, which if they're in the medical field, it's a place for them to work, which is really good. They won't have to leave the town to work.
Yep.
But also it helps that daytime population, which helps bring more shopping and more dining opportunities in that area.
Can you had another win that we had this week, but can you share that win or can you not share the win? Is there a secret, sneaky win
yeah,
we cannot share?
We're going to have an announcement, I believe it's Thursday.
Cool.
At Fire Station 2.
Okay.
And they're going to announce that. And so when they do their announcement, it'll be public. But we're going to do a press conference, and we're going to announce their win that they feel they have. And it's a fire department related issue.
And Mike, the reason why we want to have Mayor Thurmond on the show here each week is because the average person has really, I'm just speaking for myself, but and the people I know, but the average person really has no relationship with their local government. They have no idea how it works, and they really don't know if the mayor's doing a good job or a bad job. Except for when they're doing a bad job, it's abundantly clear. But when they're doing a great job, very few people say, "Oh yeah, Mayor, woo, good job, yes." Do you have any specific questions that you would have for Mayor on behalf of the citizens out there, or maybe something you want to share with the listeners out there that live in Broken Arrow about some of the things that Mayor Craig has been doing in this great city of Broken Arrow?
Well, I do know of one item that I've been asked several times, and I know that he has been working through on the county line project over on the bridge coming across. So I don't know what or where that is right now or when it will happen.
We've tried to get a Tiger grant and a Bill grant, federal government for that. So we've had for 3 years in a row, we've tried to get some federal money to.
What's a Tiger grant?
A Tiger was what they now replaced with a grant they call Build grant. But Tiger was a federal grant that they gave through Department of Transportation. We were trying to get $5 million, and we've been turned down 3 times. So we are going forward. We're trying to get money from elsewhere, and we're planning on that should happen. It's been designed, and it should be out to bid sometime this year. So we should start on that before the end of the year, the construction on that road.
Where are you building this bridge?
It's on County Line Road between what you would call 71st and 81st, Kenosha and Houston. And the bridge, when it was built, it kind of meanders there. So it's a little dangerous bridge there. It meanders because it was on county line, and since Wagner County, when it was built, didn't want to pay for any of it, Tulsa County paid for all of it, so it meanders on it all on Tulsa County, and it's the bridge over Highway 51. The state is putting some money in because they want to widen that. They only have one lane into the Muskogee Turnpike on Highway 51, so they want to widen that bridge, and so there's state money in there and local money in there, and some federal money that the state has gotten to do this project.
So if I'm on 71st Street here, and how do I find this place?
It's you go down by there's Atwoods there.
By Atwoods.
Corner.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Let me find Atwoods. I live at Atwoods. That's where the only place I go. It's my only data point. I love Charles. Do you go to Atwoods very much?
I do now.
You do now?
I do now.
It's a great place, really. I mean, it's a fine place. I think I found. Is this the Atwoods we're talking about here? I think this is okay.
You're over in Coweta is where you're at.
And so I'm in the wrong place. I need to go to the other Atwoods. Okay. I'm going to go to the Broken Arrow Atwoods. I'm going to travel there right now. There it is. Broken Arrow Atwoods. I'm sending in the man. I'm zooming in. Yes, here we go. With some helicopter technology. I'm making it happen. Okay, so now where do I go?
So right there, that street by Atwoods where you see it goes over the highway.
Yep.
And that bridge meanders over on Tulsa County and back. And we have a lot of accidents there because of that. Because it's
this
a
bridge here?
Yes. So that whole road is going to be widened to 5-lane road. The bridges are going to be widened. So they can add an extra lane to exit onto the Muskogee Turnpike on Highway 51. So it's that project will start. I don't know. It's probably going to take more than a year to do, but it will start. Should start by the end of the year.
I want to give the listeners out there a little fun tourism idea. Somewhere on this road, I'm not going to mention where. I'm just going to say somewhere on this road. I'm not going to say specifically. From between here, 101st. And here, which would be 71st right here, there is a shirtless man that sells wood. And Charles, I know this because I buy firewood, and when I knock on the door to buy it, he's shirtless. So just a fun tourism idea
Wow.
there. There you go. There you go. Oh, yeah. All right. So you're going to be widening
shirtless
this.
wood. It's a business.
I've knocked on the door to buy the wood, and he's shirtless every time. It doesn't matter. I've tried in the morning.
It's a purple
I've tried
cow.
It says it's his niche.
You can say purple.
He can pull off the look. He's pretty jacked.
Shirtless wood. It's the new. You could have a business.
Have you bought wood from this guy? It's some high quality wood. There's a lot of wood salesmen in this area. It's high quality. It's kind of his purple cow. It's his way to stand out in the cluttered marketplace.
That's what I was gonna say.
My daughter went with me one time though. We were knocking on the door and she goes, "Uh-oh." But anyway, Charles, what question would you have for Mayor Craig there?
Talking about shirtless guys who sell wood. What's the How does it work with this shirtless, topless women
Uh-oh.
Oklahoma thing for Broken Arrow? What's all that? I don't even know all the details to exactly. But
Please explain the context, because some people were kind of outraged. They're saying, again, we don't know how much of it's real or not. They're saying there's been a law passed.
There was a federal court law that passed, and it was in Colorado, saying that you could go topless, whether you were male or female. Our Attorney General has said that does not apply to Oklahoma, even though it was in our jurisdiction in the 10th District. But he said it does not apply to Oklahoma. There was some concern. We did have some people rollerblading down by the river in Tulsa that were some girls that were topless, and but they said now it's but they've said it's still against the law. It's always been against the law.
You can't do it.
So that's not. You can't do that, right?
You cannot do that. Okay. No, you cannot do that in Broken Arrow or in anywhere in Oklahoma now.
So you cannot have a shirtless wood salesman in Oklahoma.
No, you cannot. No.
Impressive. That's so impressive. Okay, Charles, what other hard-hitting questions do you have for Mayor Craig Thurmond? Because you're a business guy. You own CallOffFitness.com.
What would be the top 2 reasons why businesses would want to come to Broken Arrow?
Sell Charles. You're opening big box gyms.
Yeah.
And you've actually contemplated. You're opening one in Arlington, right?
Arlington, Texas.
And then one in Oklahoma City.
Yes, sir.
Could you sell him on opening a big gym here in Broken Arrow?
Well, I think the number one thing is that you have the market here. There's a market here with 115,000 people. You have a market here that you do not have. When you look at the next 5 biggest cities in our area, which is Owasso, Bixby, Jinx, Sand Springs, and Glenpool, they about equal the size of Broken Arrow. So our market, we have a very good market here. We have our income per household is a little over $70,000 per household.
Per household.
So
Great.
you have some disposable income that can afford to do those kind of things. So that's really important that we have a market here. And then we have a city government. I think the number 2 thing is we have a city government that just wants to get out of your way. And I think that's so important that government gets out of the way of business and lets them do what they do best. And if you need help, then we're there to help. But the main thing is to get out of the way of business, and that's something that government sometimes has a hard time doing. Is they want to come up with regulations, they want to control what you do, and that's really not government's responsibility, and it's not what they should be doing.
Mike, I have a lot of friends and family who live in California, and they tell me endless stories about the homeless problem. I mean, endless. Homeless people everywhere. Law enforcement. Now, if you pick up the phone and you call for an emergency, it takes forever to have somebody show up. High unemployment, ridiculously high property taxes. For the folks out there who've lived in Broken Arrow their whole lives, who don't know how good we have it, could you kind of share from your perspective? Because I know how good we have it, because I have family that lives in these areas that are plagued by high taxes, high crime, high unemployment. I mean, bad police service, the underfunded police services. Could you maybe share from your perspective as a business owner and a family man in Broken Arrow, what you like about living in Broken Arrow?
Oh, I just love that it's family first in our community, and then it's very low crime rate.
Oh, yeah.
So it's an opportunity. With being here, I've raised our daughters here, my wife and I, and so my folks have lived here.
Yep.
It has been I was going to say thrive for him all the way through his life. When you have a business in Broken Arrow, you need to shop in Broken Arrow. You need to find different things in Broken Arrow. So I was going to come back to the thing that Craig was kind of alluding to that kicked off at the first of the year was back to BA, which if people don't understand, they always want to get stuff online.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there are things you have to do, but when you buy local, you support the streets, the schools, the police, the fire. Some of these people don't understand that. And I've talked to the city manager, and he has given me his perspective, and I totally appreciated the information he gave. But we need to encourage people to buy local so that we can keep the great infrastructure that we have, our roads, streets, and everything that we have here in Broken Arrow.
Yeah, Clay, I say that a lot. Is that when people call when people call 911, Amazon doesn't come to help them.
What?
You know, you've got to spend your money locally if you want help. And when it comes to fixing a pothole or repairing a water line,
you guys,
Amazon doesn't help.
You guys are going to love me, and I'll tell you this. I'll tell you why you're going to love me. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. I don't know. My office, one of the offices is located in Jinx, and our team, they buy a lot of stuff off of Amazon. You know, I was buying stuff off of Amazon. And I don't know if it's because I don't like technology or it's because I don't like technology. But I do not buy anything online ever. I spend all my money at Atwoods, Hobby Lobby. Oh, I love that. Slim Chickens. That's kind of my triumvirate right there. I do go into Tulsa to go to Guitar Center. But I always, every week, I find a widget or a knick-knack. I'm sure you can tell by the decor in here that I find something at Hobby Lobby that must go on my door, and I find something at Atwoods. I mean, I love that place. You know, I really do. I go to Nordagio's. No, not Nordagio's. Andolini's. Andolini's every Wednesday night. I go there. That's downtown Broken Arrow. So I got to make a point there. I've got there's a lot to do down in town. There used to not be a lot you could do in Broken Arrow, but this week I went to what's the new buffet place in Broken Arrow? It's a new buffet.
The one, the Japanese buffet.
My mom wanted to go there for her birthday, so we went there.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there for her birthday. That was a Broken Arrow purchase. Went to Atwoods again. Hobby Lobby. I'm all Broken Arrow all the time. I thought about shipping my gas in on Amazon, but I guess they frown upon shipping in barrels of gas from Amazon. So I do buy my gas in Broken Arrow at the Quick Trip. So that's a big thing. What would happen though if everybody? I'm sure you've seen the impact of this a little bit, or maybe a lot. What happens if people just stop buying in Broken Arrow? Period. You've seen this a little bit. What does that do to you and your budget or lack thereof?
Well, I think that that Oklahoma is the last state where cities run on sales tax, so it's so important that people spend their money in Broken Arrow. But the other thing is that all the shops we're mainly all mom and pop shops here, and they're going to close up. Is what's going to happen, and you're going to have people that lose their job and lose their livelihood because people don't shop there. And we've seen that happen throughout as the internet becomes more and more popular. So that's a big issue along with the sales tax. Again, our city operates off sales tax. So if you call police and fire, or you have a maintenance worker come out and fix a water line at your house or on your street, it's all because it's all done through sales tax.
Are you willing to cut your salary in half to help support Broken Arrow?
Oh yeah. They many times they say, well, we'll double your salary. Well, so twice of nothing is nothing still. So yeah, they can do whatever they want. I
mean this sincerely because years ago, Junior Achievement asked me to speak at the Broken Arrow High School. The year would have been 2002, when I was named as the Tulsa Metro Entrepreneur of the Year for the chamber there, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And I said yes. And Miss Kathy Farquhar, perhaps you guys know her. She was a teacher there at Broken Arrow High School for years. She said, could you speak maybe 2 hours on Thursdays or whatever day it was? I said, sure. Then Wednesdays and Thursdays. And pretty soon I was there one whole day a week doing Junior Achievement volunteer. One full day every week there. My wife I couldn't convince her that volunteering for free for 1 day a week, it was a sustainable move. Is your wife an angel? Is she? Is her middle name Broken Arrow? How did you convince her? Because this is a sacrifice your whole family is making to do this. I mean, how have you guys as a couple gotten behind this idea of working for free? Again, there's not a lot of men out there or women out there that'd be willing to do this. I just want to know what's going on there in the Thurmond household.
Well, first, my wife is an angel, so that does help a lot.
Oh, this just did make a point.
She supports Broken Arrow like I do. She knows that it's important. She knows it's important to me, and she knows it's important to our community to have someone that is willing to put the work in and make a difference in the community. Again, you don't get that chance very often in your life to make a difference in 115,000 people's lives. So it's really important that we do this and we continue to make our community great.
So if I'm out there listening today and I want to learn more about the city of Broken Arrow, I want to learn more about maybe getting involved, I want to know more about you and whether I agree or disagree with what you're doing, where can I go to learn more about you and the initiatives that you're trying to drive home here in Broken Arrow?
Well, I think I've got a website that's getting ready to hit.
Yep.
It should be up now.
Yep.
And a Facebook page that lets you know what we're doing in our community.
Got it.
So those are very important. And also there's a city website and city Facebook that lets you know what's going on in the city. So there's a lot of ways on the internet that you can find things out. So
if I go to brokenarrow.gov, is that the best place to go?
Yes,
brokenarrow.gov.
yes.
And then what kind of information do you make available for citizens? If they want to know about where money's going or what things are being done, what can I find up there?
Well, we have all information about meetings that we're having and how to do certain things in our community. We put out quite often on social media. We'll put out we do a highlight Take 5 highlight of what's going on in our community. We also do city council highlights on there. We have something called OpenGov, and we're the only city in the state of Oklahoma that has OpenGov that puts every bit of our budget is on the website. You can go to OpenGov and you can see
really
every dime that we spend, every shovel we buy, every gallon of gas we put in a cop car. It's all on there, so you know how we're spending our money.
It's all there. That's awesome.
It's all there. Yeah, so it's being open, transparent is very important.
Okay, we've got our final 90 seconds. We've got some tough questions for you. I'll let Mike go second. Charles, you go third, okay? This is my final question for you on today's show. Why should I vote for you? Why should I reelect you? And when could I reelect you? Why should I do it, and when should I do it?
Well, I think it's important to have someone with experience and a strong work ethic to run our community, and that's one thing that's I've proven, and that's why I think you should vote for me. And the election is going to be April 6th of 2021. And it's very important, and I'll be reelected to city council, and then the council makes a selection on mayor and vice mayor.
So reelect Mayor Craig Thurmond. I can do this on April 6th of 2021. 2021. Yes. April 6th, you said?
Yes.
April 6th of 2021. Okay, Mike, what final question would you have for Mayor Craig, or maybe what would you like to share with our audience?
I just enjoy the opportunity to come and visit with y'all today, but Mr. Craig, he's been a friend of mine a long time, so I'm always thankful for the opportunity to find great people in our city that are willing to do great things, and I believe that's what he's planning to do.
That's great. That's great. Now, Charles Kolaw, I know you want to throw Mayor Craig under the bus with a tough question about nude bicycle rallies. That's a we like. What questions would you have for him? Do you want to talk to him about protein intake, or do you want to talk to him about?
I basically just want to say, I've talked to him off air a couple times, and I was just really impressed with his desire to help with. We were talking about building codes, and he was trying to make it as easy as possible for people to come in and build new subdivisions and put new housing in, and you could just tell that he just genuinely cares to help people and to help businesses succeed and builders build homes and to make the community thrive. And we also talked about other areas in the Tulsa area that's a lot harder to build, and certain criteria that's really gave pushback and the costs increase, and it affects the
I work with a lot of home builders, and
Yep.
I will tell you, the home builders that I've worked with their marketing and their processes will tell you it is significantly more difficult to build outside of Broken Arrow than inside of Broken Arrow. Just the nearby surrounding communities. People tell me it's like night and day. So that's a truth.
So I just want to say thank you for that, and just being mindful for all the small businesses, because I believe Broken Arrow seems to be a hub of a lot of opportunity, a lot of small businesses, and just thank you for that, and coming on the podcast and answering questions and just caring about the community. It means a lot.
And if you have any questions you want to ask Mayor Craig, please feel free to email today to info@thrivetimeshow.com. That's info@thrivetimeshow.com, and we will make sure we will answer those questions and more on upcoming and additional podcasts. And we like to end each and every show with a Broken Arrow boom. And so now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Boom.